Hi and welcome to Preview. My name is Guy Giampapa. Preview.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cue Guy.
Well, hello and welcome to Preview once again. Lost in Yonkers, a 1991 Pulitzer Prize play by Neil Simon, is the current attraction at the Walpole Footlighters, and I must tell you it is considered to be Simon's best work. With a cast of 7 and directed by Peter Bradley, I will say the Footlighters did an admirable job in staging this play. Riley Mulroy and Colin Wilbur portray the 2 teenagers who play the sons of Ken Goldner, a widower who brings his sons to his mother's home to live while he must seek employment elsewhere. Karen Wadland, a newcomer to the Footlighters, plays the boy's grandmother. She is stern. Every eye is on her when she's on stage. She's outstanding, and the audience showed their approval when she took her bow at the curtain call. Melissa Pinzari takes on the role of Bella, the mentally unstable daughter of Grandma who is loving to her nephews. Others in the cast are Matthew T. Kinney as Uncle Eddie and Cynthia Small as Aunt Gert. While it is truly a wonderful play with believable characterizations, I must fault the director for not demanding his actors project their voices. I had a difficult time hearing some of the dialogue. A shame, because the lines in this play are so important to the story. In situations like this, actors should be equipped with head mics, thereby correcting the problem. I realize the Footlighters have the hearing aid equipment for the hard of hearing, but that's no excuse for not projecting voices. This is the Footlighters' 93rd year, truly an event that should not go unnoticed. Congratulations on your journey to 100. The Bridges of Madison County. Well, what began as a popular book and eventually became a movie starring Clint Eastwood and Meryl Streep, The Bridges of Madison County found its way onto the Broadway stage following its debut as a musical at the Williamstown Theatre Festival here in Massachusetts. The Tony Award-winning duo Marsha Norman and Jason Robert Brown took on the task of creating the musical version of this story. According to Mr. Brown, he was not entirely excited with the project. Sadly, the show closed after a short run of 4 months on Broadway. But that's not the end of the story. The Speakeasy Stage Company of Boston saw the potential in this play and immediately assigned Ernie and Norton Award winner Jennifer Ellis and Christiane Smith to star as the unexpected lovers. Miss Ellis plays Francesca, the Italian war bride of an American GI who lives her life in Iowa. The time is 1965, and Francesca is home alone while her husband and 2 children are out of town. An unexpected visitor, a National Geographic photographer, appears at her doorstep looking for directions to the town's famous bridges. There's a sexual attraction between the two, and for the next few days, Francesca and the photographer carry on with a torrid love affair. While she yearns for the love of this man, the return of her family forces her to make a decision. In this moment in the plot, Ellis as Francesca turns in a powerful performance as she decides the rest of her life. Does she go off with her newfound lover, or does she remain in the cornfields of Iowa to live her quiet life? Miss Ellis tugs at our hearts as she decides. I have not seen a performance as strong and as powerful as this one. She and Christiane Smith both give riveting performances which will likely pay off at awards time. The Bridges of Madison County is one show I will not forget. It is a must-see. Well, bye-bye Birdie. Once again, the Norwood Theatre is alive with the sound of Broadway. This time, the production team that brought you last year's terrific version of Hairspray scores a hit with their version of Bye Bye Birdie. In case you have forgotten, Birdie is the story of a contest to bring pop star Conrad Birdie to the small town of Sweet Apple, Iowa, before going into the Army. The local songwriter, Albert Peterson, played by Colin Sullivan, is determined to get Birdie to record one of his songs prior to appearing on The Ed Sullivan Show. But his perseverance is outweighed by his pursuit of the lovely Rosie Alvarez, wonderfully played by Kimberlyn Z. Drake. On the night of The Sullivan Show, young fan Kim McAfee, played by Noah Baker Durante, wins the heart of Birdie while Albert and Rosie come together. Greg Meadows does a fantastic job playing the sexy Birdie as he swings and sways his body into the rhythm of the music and lyrics created by Charles Strauss and Lee Adams. Songs that are popular today as when they were first heard back in the 1960s. Kids, Put on a Happy Face, and Rosie are lovingly remembered as I left the theater humming them all the way home. In the large cast, Rosie outstanding, especially in the comic scene that takes place on and under the table of a private dining room. It's hilarious. The always popular Danny Bolton is Kim's father, and Albert's mother is hysterically played by Juliana Dennis, and she relishes the role. All told, there are 32 members in this cast. Orchestra every one of them for performances. Michael Hammond, who brought us the award-winning Hairspray last year, directs this show with his exceptional talent. He also co-wrote the Moss Hard award-winning Paragon Park the musical. The Noah Theatre knew what they were doing when they brought him back to do this show. And I want to say, if you're wondering if Michael Hammond and Mike Hammond are one and the same person, well, yes, they are. Michael Hammond, the director at Noah Theatre, and Mike Hammond, who directs this show here. I want to welcome both of you to our little, to our studio, Caroline Keeler and Brooks Reeves. You're both actors in the Titanic Theatre.
Yes.
Tell me something. First of all, let's talk about the theater.
Yeah.
I am not familiar with it, to be honest with you. But tell me the background of it. How long has it been in existence?
Well, I think that Titanic has been around for, I think, about 5 years.
Yeah,
They
fairly new.
usually do a show once a summer, usually sort of a fun, broad comedy.
Right.
And though I think that they're expanding to doing about 2 shows a year. So this is the first time I've worked with a company.
Yeah, same
And
for
with
me.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you perform at the Black Box at the Central Square Theatre?
Yep, we're going to be in the smaller space
Okay.
right there in Central Square on Mass Ave.
Yeah.
And what's the name of the show?
We are Penny Pennyworth,
Okay.
Actually, she is technically Penny Pennyworth.
a story of great good fortune. And it is about an 80-minute zany comedy that will have you laughing and squirming and riding a wave of
Yes.
So the comic romp?
yes, a romp is a great way to put it. Yeah, it's a really fun piece brought to us by a young playwright out of New York. We're really excited to be premiering it in Boston. We get to have a lot of fun. We do a lot of playing in this show.
Yes. We each play, a bunch of different characters because it's only 4 actors.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I understand there are 4 of you.
Yes.
But you do different roles.
Yes.
We do a lot. Hopefully, we
Yes,
can
a lot of different
carry
costume
the show.
changes. Yeah, and it's a very epic and very involved story. It's basically sort of an 80-minute parody of Dickensian novels. So there's a lot of references to, I think almost every single Dickens
just about,
novel,
yeah.
including like Jane. Well, not that Dickens wrote Jane Eyre, but the Bronte sisters and Austen, and it's sort of that ilk. But it's very silly, very
It's very tropey.
yeah, it's great.
You'll
good
see a
word
lot
to
of
use.
see a lot of familiar scenarios for sure.
What are some of the roles you play? I know you play more than one.
Yeah. So for myself, I play Penny, who is our leading lady,
Yes.
sort of.
Poor Caroline never leaves the stage.
It's
You're
truly.
there for the whole 80 minutes?
I mean,
Wow.
we all are pretty much on the entire time, with the exception of a few exits and entrances. I don't have probably as many as my castmates, but I play Penny, and I also play another character. Malodorous Dump is the name of my alter ego, and a couple of other small sort of. Incidental kind of characters throughout as well.
What do you do for costume changes?
Oh, interesting question.
I'll speak quickly for myself about mine. We have an amazing costumer working with us, and she has undertaken the task of building one of my costumes underneath my skirt and petticoat,
okay.
so that I am able to flip up my skirt
Right.
and have that costume change happen right on stage.
These are the secrets of the theater.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, not secrets at all. We
Yeah,
show
no,
them
yeah,
directly
we-
to the audience.
Yeah, we make no mystery about it. So that's one of mine. A couple of the other ones happen more off stage, but Brooks has more
Yeah, I agree.
complicated changes.
I mean, I don't know if they're more complicated. I play Mrs. Pennyworth,
Yes,
the
my
mother
dear mother.
of Penny Pennyworth, and for that I'll have a shawl and this enormous bonnet that I sort of keep having to put on and off. And I also play Hawk Spit, who is her childhood love interest, who speaks in almost unintelligible Scottish. I play the Emery Lane, the Baron de Lugy, who is a very handsome man who is also after Penny's heart. I play, wait, was it the Dodgeful? No, Archer.
Dodgeful Archer.
Yeah, Dodgeful Archer.
Instead of the Artful Dodger.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's
Sometimes
a little,
we can't even remember.
I know. Yeah, he's a little street urchin who befriends Penny, and then I also play Spatterdab Carney Barker, who is a showman.
Just as you sound.
Yes. And for each of these, I have probably about 1 or 2 different costume pieces. And occasionally, like by the end of the show, each of us, all 4 of us are literally flipping from one character to the next. So I'll have, there's one scene in particular where I have a top hat in one hand, I have my bonnet in the other hand, and then when I have to play Archer, I literally run over and I climb under the skirt of another actress and I pop up and I'm the Dodgeful Archer and then
How do you remember all the characters and when to change?
Ooh,
It hasn't been easy.
it has not. Yeah, I mean, and it's honestly part of. I think it's part of the energy and the kind of spirit of the show is that we're constantly, as the actors, working really hard, to keep up that energy and that pace, and also, differentiate between our characters so that the audience is very clear who we're playing
who
when.
you are, yeah.
And luckily, for each character, we do have a sort of signature, headpiece or costume piece that really, sends that message home.
And every single one of us across the board has such completely different physicality and vocal characteristics. I mean, each of the characters are so distinct that I don't think there's any danger in confusing them.
And that's been, a really fascinating thing to watch. Each of us sort of explore the range of characters and to. It's just been such a blast watching Brooks go through all these characters, and we're playing off of one another quite a bit, and so it's
there's a funny moment where we've just had a scene as I play Mrs. Pennyworth and she plays Malodorous Stump, this sort of terrifying, to Mrs. Pennyworth, a terrifying sort of henchman who sort of comes to call on her, but then I have to tell Penny about this news. So first I'm saying, where is that girl? Where could she be? Because
meanwhile I'm off, frantically,
getting costumed. And then when she comes on, I start telling her about this terrible character, and she's asking me about it, and I say, monstrously large, hideous,
so ugly.
Yes, just super, super ugly. And I start referencing her face. I was like, okay, I get it.
So we get to have a lot of fun with each other, playing off of, the antics.
Do you ever have the feeling that you're going to lose it, or you're going to forget something?
Constantly?
Everybody, I have to say, everyone in this show is so funny, and so
it's so fast-paced.
Yes, and so sometimes I'll just look at Brooks and he's in character, and it's just something that just the look that he gives me or something that he says, and it's like, oh gosh, don't break.
Yeah, well, and likewise, like I think it's going to be really challenging. Like there are scenes where I'm off stage and I just want to laugh because you guys are killing it. It's so funny what you guys are doing on stage.
Yeah, it's pretty silly, as you can.
I know it's a rehearsed show, but listening to both of you, it reminds me of Improv Boston. Mm-hmm. They just run off the top of their head.
Yeah. There are definitely moments of
improvisation.
You feel a similar kind of adrenaline,
yes,
I think, and a similar kind of energy behind the moving
the key.
force of this play.
Yes.
You almost feel like anything could happen at any moment, even though we know how the show progresses.
Speak for yourself.
You know, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's so. I think the beauty of it is that it just is all over the place in a good way, and that we're getting to see so much happen in 80 minutes. And the story, you know, it moves along, and we see so many different characters and so many different locations, and so yeah, there are moments where you're almost like, okay, we're here, and what are we doing? Oh, right, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, which makes it really fun, and that makes it a really great, I think, great challenge and exercise for us as actors to really keep us on our toes.
Yeah, that's the key to it.
Yeah.
Is this 80 minutes without an intermission?
Correct.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's a great
And
summer show. You know.
It'll go by fast.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, it is. It is,
Yeah.
and we also are buckling up with the audience.
Yeah.
How long have you been rehearsing?
We started mid-April.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it hasn't been a terrible. I mean, we workshopped. We had a few days of workshopping the piece where we just played. We
Yeah.
played
Yes,
with character
yes.
development and physicality and kind of the many different sort of montages and tableaus that are part of our character
Right.
work. And then we jumped in, I think, in earnest the end of April.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there were a couple of times, like there was one week where our director was directing a children's show that was going into tech, so she...
Yeah, we had a little week
so we had like
off.
a week
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Sarah has been a fabulous director.
Yeah, Sarah's
sure,
wonderful.
I'm sorry she couldn't be here today.
I know.
I was looking forward to meeting
I
her.
know.
Don't worry, she's plenty busy getting the show
Yes,
ready.
yes,
So
yes. But she's been, you know, she has just been our fearless leader and has really guided us through this journey, and have really, I think she's really pushed us to do our best work, and it's been, I mean, for me, it's been a wonderful challenge, and you know, we certainly wouldn't be where we are without her guidance.
Tell me about your background, Caroline.
Sure. So many moons ago, I started my theater journey, you might say, at Syracuse University.
Oh,
So I was
oh, really? At Syracuse?
Yeah, so I started as a musical theater major there. I studied there for about 2.5 years. I had another opportunity at the time, so I left Syracuse and was doing primarily music and songwriting for the next, pretty much the next 8 to 10 years.
Wow.
And so it was just a couple of years ago.
Were you 13 when you started?
Well, God bless you, Guy. Yeah, no, we're both actually the oldest.
yes, we are.
We're the
Is
oldest
that right?
members of our little group, but Mom's the word.
Yeah, this isn't going out anywhere, right?
And so yeah, just a couple of years ago, I was back in Boston. I had been in New York for a while. I'd been back here for a little over 5 years, and you know, something was missing in my life, and I realized that was live theater, and so I kind of slowly, you know, dipped my toe back in the water and started in some community theater performances, kind of about 1.5 years ago, and then, you know, was able to break into the fringe scene, and it's just kind of been a wild ride ever since, and you know, I was very fortunate to get involved with some great companies and work with some incredible people, and
You seem to be going up the ladder.
yeah,
from community to fringe
fingers
to-
crossed. Yeah,
that's
yeah, it's been a
wonderful.
really nice progression, and you know, I'm having a great time, and it's really wonderful because I'm starting to work with a lot of the actors whose work I have admired in the
Yes,
past, and
yeah.
I saw Brooks on stage a few years ago and was very captivated,
wonderful.
and now it's really cool to be working together. So
Wow.
you know, I'm just saying, I appreciate, you know, the process of working
Yeah.
with other artists and other actors.
Well, that's
so
well
it's-
said.
Yeah.
How about you, Brooke? Your background.
Well, I'm originally from Wyoming, and
Are you really?
I
Oh,
am.
okay, wow.
Yes, Cheyenne all the way.
Is this man a cowboy?
Yeah.
I
There's some moments
for
of
about 2.5 years, I wore black cowboy boots every day of my life. But I went to school at Hampshire College in Amherst, Massachusetts. After that, I moved back home for about 5, almost 6 years, and then about well, gosh, almost 6 years ago, I moved here from Wyoming, and I sort of slowly, sort of like you, I sort of slowly, well, I slowly started to get back into theater, but then as soon as I did, then I've sort of been going full throttle, and I've had great fortune to work with a lot of really wonderful companies and do a lot of really interesting and fun shows, and I just feel really blessed.
Tell me about a couple of shows you've been in.
Oh my gosh! Well, I mean, I most recently, before this, I did a production with the Titanic Theatre called Brilliant Adventures. I performed the role of Hamlet with them the summer before.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
in the park. That was an experience. Before that, I did a production of An Octoroon with Company One, which was a really fabulous and it was an amazing experience. I've worked with Zeitgeist for quite a few shows. I've done Bent with them. I did Boys in the Band with them. I
think I saw Bent at Zeitgeist.
Yeah, you saw me get murdered by a Nazi. I was the guy with the shaved head.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew you from someplace.
Yeah. I won an Ernie for that.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a fantastic play.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's David Miller over there.
Yes, it is.
Directing,
yes.
yeah.
Wow. And I've gotten to work with Stoneham. I did Arabian Nights with Central Square. I've been really fortunate. I have no complaints. And the thing I love the most is I hate doing the same kind of show, and I hate doing the same kind of role.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that I can jump from doing a pretty gritty, serious drama, which is the last thing I did, to, the craziest, zaniest, where I get to wear a giant bonnet and, cry on stage because I am only a woman. So I've been really blessed. And
Well, it's a true actor when you can portray different characters like that.
Well,
I think
Well,
that's our
it's kind of
job,
a
yeah,
right?
that's our job, right? Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Oh, well, you should come see the show.
I
So
know.
should you.
Of course, and they will come. Well, our time is almost up, but what else can we talk about? Pennyworth.
I know
Penny
it's a bit of a
Pennyworth
tongue
show.
Yes,
twister.
yes.
Yeah.
And there are 4 actors in this.
Yep.
Yeah.
4 of
Yeah.
us.
Isaiah,
parts.
Ashley, myself, and Caroline.
Yep. And we're throwing a lot of stuff at you.
Yeah.
How many characters in total do you think we're portraying?
Oh my gosh.
I
Well,
wish we had a count.
I mean, there's
actually.
there's the pirates.
There's gotta be, like, over
Does
20.
the monkey count?
Yes, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot. But I think each of us plays two major characters, and then sort of
Some secondary.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
some side characters. But it's a great fun ride. Only rarely, well, semi-rarely do I get the feeling like right at the beginning of rehearsal, and I think to myself, this is going to be a good show. And I feel that with this show. Like, this is going to be a good show. This is a show I've been telling everyone to come see. I feel very proud. This is going to be awesome. This one does amazing work.
I can imagine. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
thanks. It's a great. I feel like it's a great summer show.
Yeah.
It's quick.
Yeah.
You're gonna laugh. It's you can still get out at the end of the evening and go do something.
Yeah.
With your friends or whatever.
Yeah, and it's also I would say it's appropriate ages 9, 8, or up.
Yeah, which is kind of lovely.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're trying. Yeah. We're
that's wonderful that you can get kids to come in to see something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's. I mean, I'm sure that there will be plenty of things that will go over kids'
Over their
heads,
heads.
but there's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like deeply
not
inappropriate.
objectionable.
Yeah, there's
No.
nothing objectionable
Yeah.
about it, and it's also you've got a bunch of people running around acting in different voices, and it's I can't imagine that kids. I mean, if I was a kid, I would love this show.
I mean, there's certainly no lack of silliness, and
Yes.
I think we're all kind of putting ourselves out there in really,
Exceptional ways.
special ways. And so, yeah, and I think anyone who appreciates Dickens or appreciates literature, sort of the,
Yes.
you know, the
There's lots of in-jokes
spoofing
that
of that.
only English majors will get.
Yeah.
Would you get the same feeling if you take a show like this in a large theater?
I don't.
I mean, is it more intimate when it's small like that and more enjoyable?
I think that it definitely it's. I think that it plays to our advantage.
Yes,
to
I mean,
have the
especially
audience
since there's only
closer.
4 of us. I mean, and we sorry, you couldn't have a bunch of different sets for this show because we literally run from one set
there's
to
no
another set
time.
to another set. So
Yeah.
there's we sort of have a frame, but we don't. I can't imagine this in a large space.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, our time is up.
Oh.
It's been wonderful having
No,
both of
thank
you.
Thank
you
you
so
guys.
Breeze
Thanks
and
for having
Caroline.
us.
I lost your name.
Keeler, that's
Keeler.
okay.
I do that in every show.
You know, it's all right. We're here to
Thanks
remind
so
you.
much for being with us. And
Thank you.
Some people say break a leg. I always say ham it up.
Oh,
You
that's
have
appropriate.
yeah.
That is appropriate.
There's no
in this
worry on
case.
Thanks
that
so
count.
much for being with us.
Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome. Well, that's our show for this time. Thanks for watching Preview. See you next time. Bye-bye.